Hey, Omni Dogs and Omni Kittens. This is Omni Dog here with another root beer review where today I'm going to try, I've never tried this before, Teddy's root beer. It's a big, burly 26 ouncer. I don't know if I can finish this all day today, but it's going to take me all day to finish it, that's for sure. So let's take a sip of Teddy's and see what it tastes like. Wait, first smell it. Ooh, rooty. Very rooty. Nice and foamy. Complicated aftertaste. I like it. A lot. Let me have another sip. Indulge me 1 second. I like this a lot. It's got very complex flavors. So if you can find Teddy's somewhere, I would go for it. I found this at Safeway of all places, and props to them. This may be a whole video of me just drinking this root beer. I'm digging it. Yeah, so this job's a good job. It doesn't pay much, but man, I get root beer. So today in Root Beer Reviews, we're going to be covering two books, the good news and the bad news. First, the good news is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is awesome. I have 3 of the books, which are all 3 that have come out. And we've got Lunella Lafayette, where is she? Right there, who is a 4th grader, 9 years old, with the Devil Dinosaur. And this book is nothing but 5 out of 5 root beers fun. All ages fun, but don't let that adult in you turn it off. Adults out there, you'll dig it just as much as I did. You can't get much more adulty than I am. And, well, in appearance anyway. I don't really act like an adult very often. But Devil Dinosaur is just super fun. I'm going to read the back of the first book, and we'll go from there because it's a good description and better than I could do. Lunella Lafayette is an inhuman preteen genius who wants to change the world. It turns out Lunella Lafayette, 9 years old, is the smartest person in the world, supplanting Reed Richards, Amadeus Cho, Dr. Doom, whoever. She's the smartest. She's constantly inventing marvelous, amazing things in a secret hideout she has underground. And it actually, and I'm not going to read right now, I'm just going to give you my thoughts. One thing good about this book is that it delves into her personal life with her parents. You can imagine what it's like having the world's smartest child as a kid. And it deals with, the art is great. And it deals, she's got a little bit of a complicated, you don't see a lot of her parents. Mostly they're frustrated because she keeps disappearing with Devil Dinosaur to deal with crises and issues and things. There you see Amadeus Cho there talking to Devil Dinosaur. But that's one good thing about this book. You see a little bit about her background. It establishes the character. You see Lunella, who is the smartest mouth I've ever read. What a snarky kid, but it works. How would you act if you were the smartest person trapped in a 9-year-old body? You'd probably be pretty smart mouth too. So, Devil Dinosaur appears through a rift in time created by this, let's see, is it Cree technology that she got her hands on? An omni-wave projector. Lunella Lafayette is an inhuman preteen genius who wants to change the world. She's worried about the Terrigen mists and how they're going to change her. She knows she's been exposed to them before, and she's very worried about how she's going to change. And she changes in a very odd way. I won't spoil it for you, but she does change in a very odd way. That job would be a lot easier if she weren't living in mortal fear of her latent inhuman gene. There's no telling what she'll turn into, but Luna's got a plan. All she needs is an omni-wave projector. Easy, right? That is until a red-scaled beast is teleported from the prehistoric past to a far-flung future. I'm having trouble. Far-flung future we call today. Together, they're the most marvelous team-up of all. The Inhuman Moon Girl and the time-tossed Devil Dinosaur. So that's how Devil Dinosaur ends up in our time period. He brings along with him a band of ruffians who terrorize Yancey Street where she lives. I don't want to give too much away of that first arc because it's fun and funny. And it is something to behold. But Devil Dinosaur is the sentient beast we all want as a pal. He's like a big dog, basically. And he's a ton of fun. And that's the first book. The good story arc in the first book. Second book, the Terrigen Cloud finally lands on Luna Lafayette. But her transformation isn't what you might expect. Now, she does go to school a lot. We do get a lot of cool background on her in school, how she interacts with her classmates. Of course, that's not great because she's the smartest person in the world. She thinks school's a big waste of time. She knows all the answers. Kids treat her like she's some kind of inhuman. And it's the typical kind of outcast type of thing where she doesn't feel normal because she's not normal. In this, we see Kid Kree on the top. Who is Kid Kree? Is her 9-year-old arch nemesis. Blah 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 blah. Kid Kree shows up because he is a preteen from homeworld of Kree, and he decides he needs to bump off an Inhuman, and he picks Lunella. But Lunella's not having any of it. And neither's Devil Dinosaur. So, let me just show you a little bit more art. As you can see, it's very clean, very colorful. Pops right off the page and is a ton of fun. And we get a lot of guest appearances in these books that don't feel shoehorned in. They feel organic. For instance, we get Ms. Marvel in here. We also get, as I said before, the whatever his new name is, the really bitchin' Hulk, or whoever Amadeus Cho is, I can't remember. You also get Doctor Strange, Storm and the X-Men, Riri Williams, and somebody that can't possibly be Doctor Doom. That's in book 3. But Ms. Marvel shows up and does a wonderful job of being Ms. Marvel in a great book. That is book 2. And it is simply wonderful. Book 3 is another story arc. And it is a ton of fun because these writers know how to write a little girl who's way too smart for her own good sometimes, how to suspend disbelief and bring a red dinosaur into the future with tiny little arms. But it's really... Oh, The Thing is in this too. It's very good. The Thing has a good interaction because he's from Yancey Street, so The Thing has some great cameos in this. Actually, he's a big chunk of some of the story, along with the really fabulous Hulk, or whatever his name is. And then, of course, the X-Men are in there too. But it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel shoehorned. It feels natural. If you want a good book, if you want to have fun, don't you? That's why you're reading comic books. Yes, get Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Get all 3 volumes. I have a feeling that this is going to get an oversized hardcover if you want to kind of wait for it. My friend Luis, Hardcover Reviews, says that he's a school teacher and it religiously sells out in the scholastic book fair. I'm having a very difficult time talking. I'm getting drunk on root beer, I guess. Let me have another shot. That's good root beer. Luis says it sells out consistently, though, in trade paperback form to schools. So schools are getting into this. So that means it maybe will get an oversized hardcover if you want to wait. But I wouldn't wait if I were you. I'd jump on Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. That's the good news. Here's the really bad news. And I consider it bad news because I was excited for this book. I really wanted to like it. It comes in a big, beautiful package. Cost me real money on in-stock trades. With a premise I thought was fun. And Astounding Wolf-Man comes with a thud. I couldn't believe it. Robert Kirkman cannot write. I'm sorry. I think he got lucky on Walking Dead. I can't explain Invincible, but because that's a pretty good series too. But admittedly, Walking Dead is much weaker after issue 60, according to everybody that reads Walking Dead. I haven't read it, so I only know. I'm telling you right up front. Everybody says the first 60 issues are just brilliant, and then it falls off a cliff from there. That's what people tell me. I've read Outcast by Robert Kirkman and Irredeemable Ant-Man. They're a mess. Irredeemable Ant-Man's a mess, and Outcast is nothing but a cliche that breaks no new ground. This book, look at how pretty this book is, sucks. And I'm going to tell you why. The central conceit is the main character gets bitten by what he thought was a bear, but turns out to be a wolf man. And in the very beginning, he's like a high-tech company executive. He has a very secure house. He's talking with his wife about, my God, my body's undergoing these changes. What do I do? And then, boom, right in the very beginning, this dude just shows up in his house. And he decides to listen to him. I am willing to suspend my disbelief up to a certain point. Turning into a wolf man? Yes. Just letting some random guy show up in your high-security home? How did he get in there? What's he doing? And this guy decides to trust him. Why should I trust some stranger that just walks in my door? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I said I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, but that was the first thing that got me sort of like, what's going on here? And it is just one tired trope after another. Cliche layered on cliche layered on cliche. There's nothing new or interesting in this book. The dad gets blamed for killing the mom. Dad is the wolf man. Daughter seeks vengeance with this former trusted advisor, who of course turns on him because anybody that just shows up in your house and says, hey, I'll help you, is not a good guy. Wolfman doesn't figure that out until too late. So the daughter says she wants revenge. Daddy and daughter reunite after she attacks him. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't trust you, Daddy. I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Then they fight together. Of course, they're a team, and the dad worries about the daughter. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. All his friends die, leaving him alone. And then there are fights with no explanations where he's just going... This is where I'll show you some art. The art's actually fairly decent. I like the art. It's very clean. It's very interesting. Sometimes he makes Wolfman look like a clown, but and this is 25 issues. This is a big book. This cost me real money. I really wanted to like it. It's got tired superheroes that are in it, like I don't even know what their name is, Superhero Incorporated or Capes Incorporated or something. There's nothing interesting about these particular superheroes. You want to read an interesting group of superheroes that hasn't been done before? Read Irredeemable. But the villains and the heroes, there's nothing you haven't seen before. They don't interact particularly interesting, and it is just a big flop. These fights that keep happening with other wolfmen, I don't know why I'm worried about ripping the page. I got sticky notes, but he's constantly under attack from these other wolfmen with no explanation. Why are you fighting me? What's going on? And it happens right in the middle of certain battles that are very important. I get it. It's supposed to build dramatic tension. It's supposed to build dramatic tension as it builds to the end as we get an explanation of why he's fighting. Big deal. I'm sorry to say this, but the writing, excuse me, I have a cold. The writing really reminded me of Kevin Smith's Batman in Cacophony and Widening Gyre. Yeah, that's how bad it is. This book just didn't bring me any joy. It was a slog to get through. It was just a really just not well thought out at all. And I didn't like it. I hated it. And it makes me mad that I spent money for this thing because it cost me a lot of real money. Before I give it the treatment that I'm going to give it, let me just say that this thing is a cliche-riddled mess. I don't know what it did to deserve selling 25 issues and a crossover with Invincible, which sort of was interesting, but not really. I don't know what it did to deserve that, getting 25 issues and this brilliantly nice book. But I couldn't put up with it. I slogged through it. It was nothing I hadn't read before. I don't think Robert Kirkman can write. That's my opinion. You may have a different opinion. That's fine. But this is my channel. So, in keeping with the new tradition, I am sorry. I do not want this book anymore. I spent real money on it. I picked the world's worst root beer. Barks. Blah. Oh, God. I don't even want to smell it. It smells so bad. But it is getting the root beer bath because I don't even want it in my collection. So let's adjust the camera so you can see a little bit more of Wolf-Man. And believe me, I spent real money on this book. Getting the root beer treatment. The only good thing about this bottle of Barks is it's a big bottle. So I can douse the whole damn book. This book sucked. I recommend you not get this. I don't recommend you drink Barks. I recommend you drink Teddy's. And I recommend that you... Boy, this is an unending root beer. This is one great big mess, including the mess I'm making. So I insist you get Teddy's root beer, and I insist, there we got a little foam on top, one ruined book, who cares? So get Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Don't spend your money on Astounding Wolf-Man. Blah. There's much more interesting creative stuff out there. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you want. Leave comments. I always reply to comments. Some people don't, but I do. Thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate it. We will talk to you again soon.